that I'm making noise. It don't matter though. Young nigga from Canada, rap from that bullshit and go like a matador.
Honestly, thought that was hilarious. But all joking aside, I do want to talk about Wang Wang. God, that name is awful. Papa Baylord or whatever. I don't know. Because I do think he's an interesting character. And I do want to start by saying that I do not think he's poorly written. So if anybody's worried about me coming at him from a writing standpoint, I'm actually not coming for him like that. I think with the backstory and flashback that SVU was telling, Wang Wang serves his thematic role to a T, like perfectly, pretty much. Like I have no issues. Is the best way I can put it, because I understand what he was doing there with the Beastmen and Beastkin, whatever you want to call them. They might have had the DNA of something like a lion, king of the jungle. You know, supposed to be like an apex predator, the top dog. Top of the food chain, and no matter what DNA they had inside of them, certain animals could control them. Certain people in the Lopopia family could tame them. And we know dogs to be man's best friend, or like they're supposed to be subservient and things of that nature. I have been told that apparently that's not true. And I think through like genetic breeding or something of the sort, that's how dogs became so submissive. I don't know the science behind that. I'm just going to go off the literal saying that most people understand. If anybody in the comment sections know specifically why dogs are like that nowadays, feel free to. I'd love to learn. That all being said, I can't respect him. Is my problem. From a very personal standpoint, this is subjective, personal, bias, all of those things, favoritism. I'm not being impartial. I cannot jive with Wang Wang. And you have to understand that it comes from many places. Again, with him actually having like canine DNA, he's the first of the Houndborns, if you will. But he's actually the one that has free will to not be dominated by anybody, but chooses to want to serve a master because of him not being able to go against his natural instincts and inclination as a dog. I think worked. I think it was compelling. I really do. Now, there's a time where you need to throw that all out the window. I'm not particularly interested if you're biologically inclined, but I really did think he was gonna break that kind of chain or molding, but he stayed loyal to Traumer till the very end. And Traumer is a clown, by the way. Like you're gonna murk the man's wife and be like, "Hey, you gonna betray me?" Like, bro, what that? Why did you do that? You didn't even think about my feelings. And he told him that he didn't care. You're just a trifle. And Wang Wang, what do you want me to do? Now, let me tell you why it personally bothers Neya Hemmings. Anyone else, you don't have to go along this line of thinking because I know it's very personal. I often talk about a person's personal socialization, how they grew up, where they grew up, and the values that were instilled into them will kind of dictate the things they can and can't take away from a story. Like, you might be really aligned with things about bullying because maybe you were bullied when you were younger. So when a story is dealing with somebody who's a bully or a bully, I said bully as in like the bullier, you might feel a deeper personal connection to something like that. I'm black. Stories about discrimination, racism, and oppression, and stuff like this, in the way that Yasrach and Wang Wang were being oppressed by Traumer, he was dominating them, resonate with me a lot. So, if you're not willing to break away from that and not be under like the chain and whip of the slave master, it bothers me. Wang Wang being so willing to serve this guy when he's like murdering people you love, your family, your people, all those things, does not care about you. It makes me physically sick to my stomach. I can't with him. I'll never respect him. He's not that guy. Yama, Doom, Paul, they all have a chance. They're all cool in their own right. But Wang Wang, I can't respect him for that reason. Yasracha and then Neya really believed in Wang Wang being able to actually break free from his natural instincts or whatever you want to call it, because he was the one with true free will. And it's like your kids, your people, and the woman that you probably love are all gone, and you still decide to stand by this monster? How in the world could somebody like me with my background respect something like that. Maybe someone else does. Maybe someone else thought it was noble. Oh, we serve him to the end. I don't know. Maybe the way that you were socialized is different than me, and you're looking at this from a complete different lens and perspective, and I respect that. All I'm saying is when it comes to me, again, I actually think this was one of the better backstories in Tower of God. This was an incredible flashback. It was great. We got to dive into some of the minutiae of the Lopobia family. We got to see young Yama, young Doom, then Neya being a stepmom taking on that role and like trauma ray in action a little bit. Seeing that Arcanite, not Arcanite, I think Arcanite actually, one of the ancients are inside of natives or ancients are inside of Yama. But Wang Wang, he's just the one part that while I'm like, I understand what he's doing with the writing, the story of Yasracha and Wang Wang it works, it's good, it's solid. I can't respect him, and I never will. But let me know what you guys think about the character of Wang Wang. You think I'm being too harsh on him? You think I took it too personal? What are you guys thinking? Let me know in the comment section below, and you guys have yourselves a mighty fun day. He's powerful too, by the way. I don't think he's weak in terms of like the era he's in and what kind of character he is. Like, he's amassed a decent amount of power, but Yama will surpass him. Y'all take care. Shout out to the Patreon gang, my CBLs, the Priests of Fire, but especially my tier 3 subscribers, the 5th Zen God. Shout out to Abdel, Brian, Chromizone, Tris, Cayenne, Chris, Miles, Revenant, Scobe, Shout It to Your Body, Simi, and Sunny Kathapali. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.